Hi, welcome to Prep Career. Today we'll be discussing about the brief timeline of career of Gandhi ji. UPSC has asked a lot of questions. Okay, so अगर पिछले 8-10 साल देखोगे तो गांधी जी की मूवमेंट्स के ऊपर काफ़ी क्वेश्चंस आ चुके हैं. But now what we are trying to do, we are trying to give you a perspective that not only in India but also in South Africa there are a lot of events which are associated with his life. Okay, so we'll be discussing important ones and so that you will get some idea. I'll be covering some questions which has been asked in CAPF, CDS in last 1 to 2 years, because those questions are important for us, because such factual question if asked directly you should be able to answer them. Okay, so let us understand. Now, it is often said that Gandhiji, he was born in India but he was made in South Africa, because his initial career, it was influenced by the activities which happened when he went to South Africa. So, he went to South Africa in 1893, and in 1893 itself his main work was to provide some legal help to one of the merchant known as Dada Abdullah. Okay, so when he went to South Africa in 1893, he realized there is a lot of racism. Okay, the rights of the people, they are not getting respected. In fact, when he was traveling by train on the first class, he was thrown out. Alright, so such was the level of discrimination which in fact impacted his career from the beginning itself, and that's why from 1893 onwards we see a lot of activities, a part which he has taken for improving the lives of people in South Africa itself. So in 1893 he went to South Africa. By 1894 itself he created the first political association, and it is known as Natal Indian Congress. Its main aim was to ensure that the rights of the people are protected in South Africa and to ensure that discrimination does not happen. So it was more of a pressure group. This was created in 1894 itself. Then in 1899, okay, foundation of Indian Ambulance Corps during Boer Wars. Now these Boer Wars were being fought between British and two republics of South Africa. Okay, one of them was Transvaal, other was the Orange Free State. So these two republics were fighting against the rule of British. But during this time, Gandhiji chose to help the British, which happened even during the First World War. So he was helping them so that a kind of medical help can be provided. So this was done in 1899. In 1904, he founded the Indian Opinion. Alright, this was one of a magazine to popularize Indian opinion in South Africa, and he also opened the Phoenix Farm. So main concept behind the Phoenix Farm was that of ashram itself, जो वहाँ से start हुआ for the first time, but जो इसका पूरा you can say final form है, that was Tolstoy form. So this was just the beginning of creation of the ashrams, है ना. काफ़ी सारे आश्रम इंडिया में बनाए गए, साबरमती पे, वारधा पे, etc. all those. Okay, so this happened in 1904. Now even when we talk about Gandhiji, so his first phase 1893 to 1905, this phase in South Africa is known as the moderate phase, where he was having a sense of, you can say, trust in the British rule in South Africa, and he was trying to take their help. Like you have already seen, he created Indian Ambulance Corps. Okay, so in the this phase he was having faith, but from 1906 onwards he realized that the tactics which he has been using in South Africa so far will not work, because British, they were not listening to his pleas or his various prayers. So from 1906 onward he started developing his various methods, which became even more popular when he came to India. Okay, so UPSC can ask you such factual question which you need to remember. Like in 1906 we see first civil disobedience movement or the first satyagraha which happened, and this was specifically against Asiatic Ordinance in Transvaal. Okay, there were a lot of limitation which were imposed upon Indian people, like they cannot move without passes. Okay, registration of marriages became compulsory. All such many you can say dictates, they were passed one after the other. So he started satyagraha against all of them. 1906 it was against the Asiatic Ordinance. This Asiatic Ordinance was against Indian and Chinese mostly, who were Asians. In 1907 it was against the compulsory registration, means if you want to stay in one place you have to compulsory register. You cannot just stay there without any permission. So there should be registration with the registrar. So satyagraha started against this in 1907. In 1908 there was trial and imprisonment for Gandhiji for the first time, because he went to jail multiple times. So if UPSC asked, in 1908 he went for the first time. Okay, in 1910 he started the Tolstoy farm. He was influenced by Tolstoy, ठीक है ना, जिन्होंने बहुत ही famous book लिखी है War and Peace. So he was influenced by, that's why he, उन्होंने इसका नाम भी वही रखा. And last में this started evolving into Gandhi ashrams. Alright, and in 1913 he again started the Satyagraha. This was against derecognition of marriages. Indians form में जो होता है mostly registration is not compulsory of marriages, but in Christian the registration used to be there. Okay, but that's why they started derecognizing the non-Christian marriages in Cape Town. So then Gandhiji started Satyagraha against. So this is the part where majority of you may be lacking certain information, and if UPSC asks, you need to remember these details. Okay, and most important one, first Satyagraha in 1906 against Asiatic Ordinance, 1907 Satyagraha against the permit system. Okay, in 1908 we see the first imprisonment. 1910 you have to remember it was the foundation of Tolstoy farm. Okay, and if they ask about the political association, so Natal Indian Congress, because UPSC asks a lot of association, ki which of the following is created or associated with Gandhiji. So if they ask Natal Indian Congress in one of the options, so this would be correct, and it was the earliest association created by him, so 1894. These are the fine details which you need to remember with the perspective of South Africa. Alright, now we will learn a little bit about his other important events which most of you are aware of. These are given in NCERT in detail, so we will take it very quickly. Okay, I will be covering 4 important movements which were started by him. Later on one एक video में एक कर लेंगे, but right now let us try to just sum up the important things which you need to remember from his career. 1915, all of us know that he came to India in 1915. Alright, and for the first time he founded the Satyagraha Ashram in Ahmedabad, which was later on shifted toward Sabarmati. Okay, and when he came to India, his political guru was none other than Gopal Krishna Gokhale, who advised him that you should tour around India, know about India, and then only participate in the political activities. Okay, because without understanding about what are the ground realities, how can you make a difference to the life of people? So that's why he toured along. Alright. And first public appearance of importance, this was asked by UPSC in CDS. Okay, so you need to remember he delivered a speech on occasion of opening of BHU, Banaras Hindu University. He delivered a speech in 1916. So this was his first public appearance. Okay. Then he also attended the Lucknow session of 1916, but his contribution was not that much in that session. He was just one of the attendees. Okay, he observed what was going on, and during this time Rajkumar Shukla, who was from the Bihar area, he persuaded Gandhiji that there is a lot of problem which is being faced by the farmers in Bihar. That's why in 1916 itself he thought that he'll go to Champaran. That's why in 1917 we see Champaran Satyagraha happened. All of us know about the Teen Kathiya system, the exploitation by the indigo planters. So against that, Gandhiji himself became part of the commission which was evaluating the impact of the plantation activities. Okay, in that area. So 1917, all of us know the first Satyagraha in India, it was Champaran Satyagraha. So you have to remember that. Then in 1918, for the first time he used hunger strike. Okay, so it is associated with Ahmedabad mill strike. Okay, the main issue was the workers, they were getting the plague bonus of around 30-35%, and when the plague etc. it went away, so the industrialists of the area, they wanted to withdraw that, but by that time inflation had grew, so that's why workers were demanding that the bonus should remain. So Gandhiji specifically stood for the workers, and eventually they were given the bonus. So 1918, first time he used hunger strike as a weapon. Alright, in 1918 all of us know about the Kheda Satyagraha, where land revenue demand were increased in spite of the famine kind situation. So peasants, they were you can say under the various ordinances, they were allowed for remission, meaning whatever was collected by the government should have been given back to the peasants because of the kind of problem that they were facing. But in spite of that, land revenue demand was increased. Eventually a commission was set up, and this was the final जो increase किया गया था, it was reduced. So these were the major 3 events all of us know about, through which Gandhiji, he became popular among Indians, and he started becoming the leader of the freedom movement that happened later on. In 1919, he started the satyagraha against the Rowlatt Act. Rowlatt Act, all of us know about it. Okay, so Rowlatt Act was nothing but the Defence of India Act of 1915, which with some provisions more added to control or to defend India. Okay, and it contained a lot of emergency provisions. Because of that, Indians, their liberty was getting curtailed. So that's why it was considered as a blot on the national image, and all people, they started going against the Rowlatt Act. Okay, but when this satyagraha was started, it eventually led to Jallianwala Bagh massacre, when people in the Punjab area, they came out, and even when there was martial law was declared. So all of us know about General Dyer, that he ordered the troops that go and fire the masses. So this was the massacre which happened in 1900, after which it was withdrawn. Okay, but the first mass movement which became successful under Gandhiji, it was the 1919 onwards. Okay, so non-cooperation movement started in 1920. In fact, it was the Khilafat movement which was later merged into the non-cooperation movement. All of us know about the Khilafat issue. After the First World War, Treaty of Sevres was signed with Turkey, because of which the holy places of the Muslims, they were getting divided into various different territories, and that's why Muslims all around the world, they started protesting against the British treaty, okay, which was imposed on the Caliph of Turkey. So that's why the Khilafat movement was started in India also. Gandhiji thought it is a good method to unite Hindu and Muslims, but eventually it petered down because of the reforms which were done by Kamal Pasha. Okay, but non-cooperation movement also added certain other points also, like the Punjab wrongs, the problem associated with the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, as well as the report of the Hunter Commission. Hunter Commission was to evaluate, okay, now it was required to evaluate the Jallianwala Bagh massacre and give certain recommendations, but majority of those recommendations put the blame on Indians rather than General Dyer and his various policemen who started the fire. Okay, so this happened. Then the only session in which Gandhiji became the president of Congress, this was in 1924, the Belgaum session. So remember this was the only one in which he was the president. Okay. Then we have the civil disobedience movement, all of us know about this also. It put forward 11 demands in 1930, and when they were not accepted, he started the Dandi March, and he took up the salt issue, because salt was one issue which affected all the people in India. So that's why he was someone who knew people very well. He knew which issue is going to move people. That's why he is considered as the person who used the emotions of people to start the freedom movement in India. Okay, British historians, if you will read their viewpoint, all of them, they criticize Gandhiji and consider this, that he was something more of a person who could manipulate events very easily. Okay, so this happened in the 1930. So when civil disobedience movement was going on, there was a pact which was signed between Gandhi and Lord Irwin. Lord Irwin, he was the Governor General of the time. So at that point of time, certain demands of Gandhiji were accepted, and round table conference were going on. As we know that the Act of 1919 was to be changed eventually into the Better Act, okay, by 1935. So that 1935 Act required certain round table conferences for which the recommendation they were given by the Simon Commission. Okay, so the recommendation of Simon Commission were evaluated in these round table conferences. In the first round table conference, none from the Congress participated, okay, but in second, when Gandhi Nehru Pact was signed, one of the you can say provision was that they will accept and come to the second round table conference. So Gandhiji, he became the sole representative in the second round table conference, but the demands of the Gandhiji were not taken by the British government. So that's why he left the second round table conference, and this movement was started one more time. Alright, so that's why 1932 से 1934 के आसपास दोबारा से civil disobedience movement was started, after which he retired from the active politics. Alright, so this you need to remember. Then we know that by 1940-1941, Second World War was already in picture by 1939. So Indian leaders, specifically Jawaharlal Nehru and Gandhiji, thought that we should not affect the war efforts of the Allied power, because they were fighting against the Hitler and other evil forces. That's why they thought that they should not affect the war efforts. So that's why they started individual Satyagraha movement, where Acharya Vinoba Bhave and Jawaharlal Nehru, they participated. They used to give speeches and they used to say Dilli Chalo, and they used to put forward the demands which were required by the masses in general. Okay. But by 1942 things changed. All of us know that Japan he entered war in 1941 December, and that's why when they were replacing Britain as the imperial power in Southeast Asia, then Gandhiji thought if Japan comes and occupies India, it will become another charter of slavery for us. So that's why by 1942 he said we should either be given the power right now, otherwise we'll start a movement. So that's why he came up with the motto of do and die, and he started the Quit India movement. This movement was never suspended, the only movement in which even though violence was used, but still it was not suspended. Gandhiji's justification was very simple, it was utilitarian in nature, that the organized violence of state is more than the violence of people. So that's why by 1942 it was no more the question of violence versus non-violence, it was the question of survival of Indian nation. So by 1942 it became more important. Alright, so that's why in 1942 itself, all of us know, it was the moment in which majority of the leaders they were arrested on the day itself. Okay, so he was detention in the Aga Khan's palace in Pune. Okay. Then by 1946 all of us know that communal rights they increased. Muslim League was associated with the Direct Action Day, where communal rights were being done all over the country. That's why he was traveling to various places to ensure that peace can be maintained. Okay. Then 1947, by 1947 he was affected by the partition. He thought even though partition is being done, okay, but we should not accept in our hearts, and Pakistan would be like a little brother, and in the future we may get merged again. So this was his thinking in 1947 at the time of Lord Mountbatten plan, which ensured partition in India. Okay, so he was trying to restore communal balance. So he was a person who was a visionary, and all the government scheme, if you see, majority of them they are built around his vision itself. Now when in 1947 he was having a vision for Indian National Congress also. He led Indian National Congress from 1919 onwards till 1947. So he was having a vision that once we achieve independence, Indian National Congress should reform itself, okay, and become Lok Sevak Samaj. This was his vision. Okay, so UPSC can ask you this such question कि भाई कांग्रेस के लिए क्या विजन था, ऐसा कुछ, if they can ask in the prelims itself. Or what was his opinion on the partition? So his opinion regarding partition was that we should not accept it in our hearts. Okay, so this is the brief timeline of Gandhiji and his career in India. I will be taking up certain movements which are important, specifically non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience, and Quit India movement. These are the three very important movements. Along with this, we will also try to cover Swdeshi movement, because from these four movements UPSC shall or more or less ask one question every year. यहाँ चार में से एक तो आ ही जाता है. So we will be covering that, but for this is the timeline. Try to revise it. We are making very brief videos so that if you do not know about these important events, you can revise them. So all the very best from us, and prelims के लिए अच्छे से तैयारी करो.